Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Cairns here from Ontario, Canada. And as you see what's going on, it's not new news, it's old news, but a lot of things have come to mind that I have seen out there happening with the police being told like puppets that the economy is under siege by truckers. Is it just truckers? Isn't it not our Justin Trudeau, Liberal, and colleagues, and Doug Ford, who we haven't heard a word from? Is it not understand? Justin Trudeau isn't understanding, ladies and gentlemen, okay, that the farmers and truckers are essential workers and the backbone of this country. Now, if Justin Trudeau wants to keep going with his fiascos of seizing bank accounts, if he wants to keep going with taking gas to keep people warm in minus 20-degree weather, regardless if they're sitting at the Ottawa Parliament building or if they're sitting at Coots. They've tried everything to demolish the freedom and rights of Canadian people here. Now, it also come to mind that if Justin Trudeau wants to pull these cards like he always does of racism and stuff, maybe he should check in his own sandbox, because I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting pretty full behind him in his own sandbox, and he's going to need rubber boots pretty soon or hip waders, and there won't be any. You guys think about this now. Okay, if it wasn't for truckers and farmers, if it wasn't for farmers to grow the food that the truckers haul, then there ain't going to be no food for use. And I ask for support here. We have support from worldwide here, yes. And I'm not sitting here trying to be somebody that I'm not. So you see, Justin Trudeau, you better take your blindfold off, take a sniff of coffee, take a step back, and see what's going on here. Because you see, if the farmers don't grow food for this country, okay, and you ain't got these truckers that you want to put down, you want to try and mash in that they're racist and they're yeah, whatever you want to call us. Okay, I used to drive trucks, so I've quite defended about your allegations. It must have been your gold spoon upbringing. But anyhow, if you want to put the farmers down and these truckers that are hardworking Canadians out there, and you want to arrest people for blowing their horn, like that older gentleman that was arrested the other day, almost thrown to the ground by a police officer, a young cop, rookie cop, that wants to make a name for himself, so he's going to throw an older fella to the ground or push him around. You know, that's what's going to cause the ruckus around. Them doing that. Let alone you. You and Doug Ford are the worst things that ever happened to Ontario or Canada across the board. Hats off to Jason Kenney in Alberta for getting rid of the mandates, the mask mandates, the vaccines, because they're not working, as you know. But what's going to happen, and you better think hard and long about this, or short, so you can end this. You drop all mandates. You drop all mask mandates, all vaccine mandates, unmask the children because you're the one that wants to put the masks on the children to go to school. That is child abuse. Why aren't the cops charging you for this? Why isn't there something happening on these grounds? Now, I'm not going to go into your blackface racist schemes there, or the wee scandal that you were tied up in that you rightly interfered with, and the Lavalin scandal. Besides that, I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about right now in Parliament. I've seen many videos, sir, of these peaceful convoy truckers and Canadians would like to speak to you that's lost their jobs here in Canada because of your regime, your mandates. You're shutting down the country. Okay? People losing their jobs, their restaurants, the freedom. And you want to take this away from Canadians? And you call yourself a Canadian? Well, you see, the good Lord says, do unto others as you shall have them do unto you, sir. Okay? Now, this is what's going to get done unto you if you want to keep going with this without any mandates. I say within the next 4 days to a week, the food terminals from Brampton, the other side of Kingston, wherever the food terminals are, that no food, no medical supplies, no water supplies goes into those cities. I would also ask our other countries and counterparts to stop all and any transactions to federal and provincial governments as well. You want to play hardball? You want to take what's life-threatening away from people, our brothers, our sisters out there, our fellow Canadians? I'm a Canadian. I have a Canadian birth certificate, Mr. Trudeau. This isn't a threat. What are you going to do then? The people that want to stand behind you to vote your butt in when you're a piece of whatever people want to call you, racist, your discrimination to Canada. I work solidly on my own. These are my opinions, my freedom of speech, my freedom of rights that you're trying to take away from all Canadians. This is how I think now. You want to play hardball. You want to go after you want to arrest people for having empty gas in their gas containers in their trucks, and take their trucks and arrest them for this and charge them with some trumped up charge. You want to make up new laws to justify your pocket? What are you doing? You're hurting the economy. You're hurting the whole Canadian economy here. You are. Just because you're more educated than this old handicapped person here, we have rights as well. But if somebody's got to die, like I said, I'll be the first. I'll stand up to you. I'll let the cop give you the gun. I'll put a circle here with a bullseye right in the fucking middle. Just for you to stand and shoot me on the Parliament buildings if you need to kill somebody. But you want to do it? We can. The truckers, you say they're dangerous? They're the ones that bring in your food to your supermarkets in Ottawa and surrounding areas. The farmers are the ones that spend hours, and you don't even want to recognize them. You call them terrorists? You call Canadians terrorists? Play your racist card now. Who's the racist son of a bitch out there? You are. And Doug Ford is too. He's right up your butt like a dog getting to know another one. That's how dogs get to know one another. They sniff butts. You don't think I'm joking? This is what's going to happen. Unlock the bank accounts to people so that you want the truckers to leave, but you're not allowing the fuels to go into the trucks to leave. Maybe there should be $10,000 per trucker for danger pay, because if you take your trucks into Ottawa, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Trudeau is going to seize them. Have the police seize them at the gunpoint. How about $500,000 a load to bring in one truckload of food that might last them 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe a day. Then they'll be out of food again. He wants to take the livelihood away from Canadians. I encourage Canadians to shut down the food terminals from Hamilton and not haul into them anymore, all the way down past Kingston. Feed your truckers, feed your families, but don't feed these cities if this is where he wants to do it. Stop all water, all pop, all coffee, all sugars, all medical supplies. And if they want medical supplies in, she's $2 million a load plus $50,000 for danger pay. Oh, is this not ridiculous? Isn't this ridiculous? What are you doing to us, Mr. Trudeau? What is Mr. Ford doing to us? Where's the support for the people of this country, the backbone of this country? And if, ladies and gentlemen around the world, if Mr. Trudeau doesn't resign and doesn't drop these mandates, don't do business with Canada. You all know what he is like. You see it yourself. Nobody wants him, not even Canadians. Maybe some. That's totally up to them. I won't sign his ex on his next ballot. Not at all. Not after this. Canadians' lives matter. Mr. Trudeau, I have to say this too. You promised for the last 5 years that you were going to give Indigenous people good drinking water, affordable housing, build houses for them so they're not living out in minus 50 to 60 below weather in a tent, trying to get warm, trying to scavenge through the snow. You were going to make things better for them people. And what are you doing? You did nothing but fill your own pockets, give money to other countries. Well, Mr. Trudeau, I've lived on the street, sir. I lived out of my truck. I lived under the Humber Bridge when I first moved to Toronto because I had no place to go. If you haven't watched the video of this, maybe you should. But if it wasn't for farmers growing the food, the truckers that truck it, the business people who keep this country going, who have restaurants and flower shops and you name it, the industry. You wouldn't be in the position that you are today as president. Now, I apologize for getting mad. No, I'm not going to apologize. Forget it. I'll apologize to the Canadian people for a little bit of my language here, but not to you. You know, you're a disgrace to this country until you can make, draw in your horns a little bit, I would say, and see it from the Canadian side of things, not from just a Justin Trudeau. Sometimes in life, sir, you got to stand up and admit that you were wrong. Get Canada back in operation. Start our economy going here. Let people get back to their freedoms and rights. Allow the truckers to have fuel for their trucks so they can pull them out of Ottawa once you got rid of the mask mandates. You get rid of the vaccine, all vaccine mandates. You give us back our freedom. You release all funds that you have seized so it could go to the truckers so they can get out of your town, and you allow the economy to get back to where it was before you destroyed it. No vaccines, no masks, no talk about it. The truckers have asked you on many occasions to talk to you. And with your childish little behavior, I'm not doing that. You're not giving in, you're negotiating. And make farmers and truckers essential. Give back the fireman his job that he was fired from because of your vaccines, mandatory vaccines. The scientists, the doctors, the nurses, the police that you fired, wrongfully fired, and to be charged with blackmail as well. And there's a few other things, but blackmail is one of them. For blackmailing or stooping low to blackmail the Canadians in this great country that puts food on your table. The industries that is going belly up because of your mandates. Well, see, it's against, I do believe, if I'm not correct, it's against human rights. It's our body, what we want to put into them. You can't tell us what the heck we can put into our bodies. But here's where the blackmail comes in. Now, you went after businesses, restaurants, everything like that. The necessities of life you went after. The necessities of life. The restaurants, the well-being, the fine individual Canadians here. The truckers and everything. You went into it. And you destroyed the economy. You destroyed all people's life by your stupid mandates. You know the vaccines don't work. They don't work. And whoever says that are, they better take a long, deep breath and look into it. I'll never put another needle back in my body. I'd rather you shoot me in the head and put me out of my misery. If somebody's got to die, that'd be me. But Mr. Trudeau, it's about time that you watch what the heck's going to happen. If you want to start policing, taking gas, the necessities of life, or the diesel fuel for the trucks, keep the trucks warm with the not only the families that are in those trucks, the livelihood of Canadians out of here. The laws that you want to bring just forth in on Canadians, then you're going to lose. Because I'll sit here and I'll just say, okay, this is what they're doing to all Canadians. So let's shut down the food terminals. If it ain't for truckers bringing the food in, there ain't going to be no food in their tables. There ain't going to be no water. There's not going to be anything trucked out industries. The industries are going to shut down. Okay? This is what's going to happen. And the farmers stop growing vegetables for the cities. If they can't drive, they can't eat. And if they can drive, we block them so they can't get in to get groceries. Do not deliver any more food from Hamilton to Kingston. And if Trudeau wants to say, well, you have to deliver it. No, you don't. You're the independent brokers. You don't have to do nothing. Oh, he's already said that we were racist. Justin Trudeau already said that we're a small majority. Well, the majority just got bigger because it's not just the fine people that is standing and sitting and walking around Parliament Hill right now. If I could get down there, I would. I'm doing this totally on my own. It has nothing to do with the convoy that is down at Parliament Hill, but I back them. I 110% back them, and the farmers and the industry that puts all the food on your tables, the water, the pop, the chairs that you sit in, the phones that you have is all delivered on a truck. But if Mr. Trudeau thinks that we are if he thinks that we are terrorists of Canada, the only person here is him being a terrorist. Now, my name's Dan Cairns, for you that are out there watching and listening. I'm from Northern Ontario, Canada, where we get down to minus 50. We have to travel 70 kilometers ourselves every time we want food, water. We have one little gas station in town here. There's people that have, Aboriginals that have to fly in every 3 months to get another 3 to 6 months of food to fly back on the plane because there's no roads, no safe drinking water, no proper housing. The economy is gone to heck. It's not just what's going on at ground zero in Parliament Hill. This goes well beyond it. Do you know it's hard to find a shelter for a man to stay in across Canada? There's lots for women. But if there's a single father out there that needs a place because he had to get out of a bad situation to protect his children, do you know there's no shelters for them either? There's hardly any help for a man. You have the police department that goes under the rules and regulations if they want to charge somebody or not for a heinous crime. But here you have it in Ottawa that I've seen videos on of a Kingston officer and his associates stealing gas off of a truck, stealing diesel off of a truck. And you want to call these truckers dangerous, but they're the ones that are bringing in your food. So if they're so dangerous, maybe $20,000 danger pay to come into to your terminals to drop food, or to your grocery stores, plus $500,000 a load, maybe $1 million. You guys set your own price. Justin Trudeau wants to pick on poor, helpless individuals in this country. Then be it. I'm Dan Cairns, asking the world, leaders out there, if Justin Trudeau wants to keep going with this, please stop all transactions with Canada until he resigns and all mandates are lifted. He wants to play hardball, and do not deliver. It's up to you guys, but I recommend you do not deliver any food into Ottawa, any food terminals. Feed your families or whatever you got to do in the northern parts of Ontario, throughout Canada, wherever. But anywhere across Canada, if they have, and we apologize. I'll apologize to the Canadian people for this, that it's going to interfere in. But if you want to stay on Trudeau's side and you want to call us racist and whatever else you want to call us, so be it. But this is it. This was the last straw that broke the camel's back. And Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, Mr. Jagmeet Singh, since you want to stay to the liberal side of things, remember this: farmers and truckers and the industry that runs the backbone of this country, of Canada, nationwide, in your towns, your cities, your provinces, truckers should be made essential. Truckers and farmers. The rest, apparently, we live from day to day, month to month, with very little money. So it don't matter to me. I mean, I can go out and eat a skunk that's dead on the side of the road if I have to, or a rabbit, or drive down the road and run over a partridge and clean it, cook it, and have something to eat. But when you have the transportation minister putting his 2 cents in, saying he's going to take plates off of trucks, off of cars, off of everybody, what good's that going to do? Sure, you can go ahead and do that. Sure, you can take these trucks off the road. When you take one truck off the road, you're taking all of them. And then you got a real problem because you got no trucks, no farmers that are going to sell to the government to put the food in any supermarket, any food terminals where the food is shipped from after it's processed by a farmer and a trucker, hauled by a trucker. This is what's going to happen. So it's time to get rid of Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford. Let's bring in some new people in Canada. I'm Dan Cairns from Northern Ontario, Canada, and I do hope you make the right decision and all mandates. Make truckers and farmers and Canadians essential workers, because without us, you ain't got a backbone. Have a good one. 10-4. I'm out of here. Keep your stick on the ice.